What's up, family? What's good? Welcome to episode 6 of this Ain't Your Ordinary podcast. I'm your host, Sharissa. How we holding up? Last episode was a little spicy. How we holding up, fam? How we holding up? That's great. I feel like I'm getting a response. Oh, man. As y'all know, this is part 2 of questions that need answers. Reminder, these topics, these conversations are pulled from my class. That's all you need to know, I guess. All right, let's just jump right back into it. First question up. Can we have a movement, we the Black people, with or without white people? Oof. These are tough. These are tough. Dang. Silence in the room, man. Y'all don't all answer at once. I can't wait to read y'all comments on this. I love me a long answer, but I'll give us the short answer first. In my opinion, we can. Question is, can we have a movement with or without white people? We can. Maybe, a tweak. Should we? I don't think we should. I don't think we should. In having this conversation, I think breaking down the dynamics of the dynamics, I guess, of how that would work or what that would look like. I think a lot of times Black people are running from whiteness, not necessarily white people. I don't have a textbook definition for whiteness, but I can equate it to just, it when you see it, when you feel it. I think whiteness is just that energy, that synergy off of white people, the white privilege, the white supremacy, the essence of the oppressor. I feel like it's built into the whiteness, and I think white people, right? I think when we think of them or doing anything with them, we think of whiteness, but we struggle to disassociate, that whiteness, which is seemingly an entity of its own, from the people it's, themselves, I should say. That's how I view it. And it makes it hard to not only this is a social worker in me, like, you're dealing with past hurts, generational hurts, soul wounds. I'm going to talk about next episode. Soul wounds, right? The hurt caused by those who colonized you that was passed down. You're dealing with that. You're dealing with, interacting with a system that is working well because it was never meant for you. And then you're dealing with current hurt. So, it's the Olympics of healing for Black people in the Black community in a country that makes it so hard to heal, and in a country that makes it so hard to forgive. I want to be mindful to everyone's experience and everyone's journey, but it's less complex to forgive someone when a hurt is not ongoing. When something is ongoing and you're combating a previous hurt, it's not impossible, but it is extremely difficult of a task. And I understand why people would want white people to be excluded from movements, because you represent something. Not all white people are racist. We all know that in our hearts of hearts, but you represent something. And in our pain and our hurt, sometimes it's hard to disassociate you from that thing, that entity, that ideology, that feeling, that experience, like all of that. And I get it. I do. I really do. And I'm not going to say forsake your pain and forsake your healing, just to include a people group into the movement, but I would say heal, forgive, dare I say let go, because holding on to that is not doing us any good. You'll never forget. Trauma is not something you forget. Trauma is something you heal from. Not your scars heal, but they're not eradicated. They're not erased, right? So you'll never forget, but I think let go, because holding on, I think, causes a venom that's built within the Black community. And I think that venom pushes us to places where we're not even like, we don't even care anymore. Like, we care, but sometimes we don't care, if that makes sense. Like, we obviously want better for ourselves in this country, but then sometimes from our place of hurt, we make decisions and say things to other people groups that in our hurt seems that it will move us forward, but really it moves us backwards. I wasn't even gonna go here yet, but for example, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is an NFL owner, owns the football team. And recently it came out that when he was 14, he was there, I believe, when the Little Rock 9, either it was the same day Little Rock 9 was happening, but it wasn't the same school, I think. I think it was a different school, but in Arkansas, I think Little Rock 9 was happening at a different school at the same time, or on the same day. But this was another example. It was another instance of integration, basically. So they caught him looking. And I mean, I don't people are saying a lot of things. People are coming for him. I read a lot of comments where they're like, oh, Trayvon Martin was a young man too. Emmett Till was a young boy too. And, look at what they did to him. So, let's basically persecute Jerry Jones. Now, look, I'm not about to defend somebody who's racist. I don't know if this man is racist or not. I truly do not know. He's owned an NFL team for, I think, over 40 years. I am not a Cowboys fan. I am a casual NFL fan. I have never heard anything, about Jerry Jones being racist. The most I heard was about, his players kneeling, but I did not, hear about his players anyway. But I did not hear about, anything racist. So I don't see the thought process. I guess I'm not following what you guys are following, or I'm not seeing it because this white man at Fort, I could never imagine what I would do in his shoes. But if I know today, if I saw something that has never happened before, not even when things are happening, we're not thinking about it necessarily in a historical aspect, oh wow, this is going to be monumental. We don't think of it that way. We think of it oh my goodness, this is different, this is strange, this has never happened before. That's how we view things in time, right? So I can imagine being in that position in a culture where white people walk on a different sidewalk, use a different bathroom, go to a different restaurant, sit in a different part of the bus, drink from a different word fountain, where it's so segregated, it's so explicitly black and white. To see black students enter your school where it was explicitly white only, to see black students enter your school, that's, curiosity killed me. I guess it killed him, because I would have been intrigued too. What is happening? I don't know. During that time in Arkansas, I'm sure it's likely his family, maybe, I don't know, I haven't done research, so maybe it's 50-50 if he was raised in a racist household. It's 50-50 what his thoughts were at 14 about black people. I'm not going to necessarily hold that against him, but to see that man in a picture looking I would have probably too. Like, I could have been black and looked like, I mean, power to the people, yeah, but wow, like, that's crazy. I might have stood up too. I mean, I would have, I don't know. Like, you don't know. So I can't hold a 14-year-old's curiosity against him and then bring up Trayvon Martin and bring up Emmett Till. What does that even mean? Like, what is the argument? What is the purpose of bringing that up? So should we destroy him? Should we tear him down for something he did 60 years ago? I don't know. Like, I don't see the point. Like, I mean, I would question it. Yeah, like bringing up, like, what was that like? I feel like even I watched his interview. I feel like he looks scared. Like, he looks nervous. Like, y'all, please don't call me racist. Because I feel like he couldn't even give an honest answer because we live in such a sensitive time. Like, I would have loved to hear how his genuine response. Like, yeah, like during those times, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I was raised in a racist culture, and while I said some really racially inappropriate or just horrific things to those students as they were going into the school, but like, he doesn't even have space to do that. Like, he doesn't, like, you don't have space in this culture to own mistakes. So I mean, yeah, I'm sure some of those people, most of them are probably dead, so I could be like, nah, like, I didn't say nothing, like, because who's gonna say otherwise? Like, the picture don't got captions, but like, I would have loved to hear his genuine response. Like, he was talking about, like, we had never seen anything like that, but I would love to know, like, his mentality. But now we're in a position where he's coming from a defense. Like, how does that make me look? Like, I'm here, I have to protect my image. Like, that's most important. I can't even give y'all a true response. I have to protect my image. So I don't know. And I think sometimes as Black people, we kind of put people in boxes, and I don't know. It leads me to the next question. Is racial reconciliation necessary? Because it, is it necessary? Do we want it? Like, what do we want? Like, what is it exactly that we want? I don't know. I think, again, going back to that hurt, we're constantly coming from a place of hurt people. Sometimes it kind of seems like we want white people to pay, not to be held accountable. I think there's a difference. We want them to pay in an eventual way. Like, you made me hurt, I want you to hurt just as bad. And I think that's how we interact with the white community. And has it helped? Like, how do y'all feel better? Like, was it the woman who falsely accused Emmett Till? I think that's who was in the news a couple of months ago. I think she's in her 80s, 90s. And I mean, y'all want her to go to prison. Okay, look, I get it. I do. But sometimes I feel like the best foot forward is a foot with compassion, as opposed to a foot with rage and vengeance. We want justice, but we also want, again, you to pay for what you've done. It's not necessarily the same thing. Accountability is you taking responsibility for something you have done, not you hurting in the same way that you have hurt me. And I think that on our path to liberation and to, fight the oppressor, we kind of want to win the fight while also, inflicting a similar pain. And it's like, you make it hard, because is racial reconciliation necessary? Is it something you want? Because I don't think, a lot of the Black community, or I should just say some Black people, I don't think some Black people go about it in a way where it's like you make it a space where it can even be fostered. It's such a, like, again, venomous. Like, it's just venomous. Is that a word? I hope so. But like, like, it's such a a vengeful outlook, mindset, towards white people. It kind of makes racial reconciliation impossible. But it's like, I do think that should, maybe I'm an optimist, I don't know, but I do think that the right foot forward, it goes back to the original question about, should white people be included in the movements? I think they should be. I don't think excluding people, creating only Black communities is a step forward. If anything, we're modeling, what white people have done for generations, exclusion. And Black exclusion has never worked out for Black communities. It just never has. And I just, don't think that is the answer. I don't think the answer, or what it is we're looking for, is let's just all gather, let's just all do our best, and let's all go to some, abandoned community in Georgia and settle and just have a Black only community. I just don't think that's the fight. It just feels easy. It just feels like, conceding. And I don't know. I think division has always been part of the plan. I think division makes it easy for people to be conquered. So if Black people and poor white people aren't able to collaborate, it makes it easier for those communities to go against each other and be pinned against each other. And, the people on top are profiting from us fighting each other, when really we should be working together because we have common causes. Like, we both poor. Like, we both share common ground. So, oh snap, like, all right, let's collaborate. Like, let's see what we can do to, further the movement. So Black people can be liberated, but while Black people are being liberated, like, you can also be liberated. Like, you can also have better opportunities and be uplifted. Like, our movement is not just uplifting us. The fear of white people is Black supremacy. Like, no, our movement is not just uplifting us. Our movement can uplift you too. Like, and I just don't think that's something discussed, because we just don't want to include white people in this at all. Again, that whiteness, like, we cannot disassociate the whiteness. We just cannot, and it's tough. It is tough, because again, division was always part of the plan. And once division is involved, it makes it easier to be controlled. There is strength in numbers. But we don't see that, so that's just me. I get it. I do. Like, I'm not ignoring people's pains and people's hurts. I won't do that. But I also do think sitting in that hurt and acting out of that hurt, making decisions out of that hurt, is damning. It's damning. And I say, maybe we heal. Maybe we actively heal. And maybe, consider, what I'm suggesting. Again, I'm not trying to be self-righteous or none of that. Like, oh, I got it all figured out. No, like, I get it. Like, I get the struggle to disassociate whiteness from white people. I get the struggle, to combat the idea that all white people are racist. I get it. I do. I absolutely do. But when we're fighting a fight that is so multidimensional, it's for marginalized people, we continue to have marginalized ideas and mentality. And we think that it's furthering the agenda. We think that criticizing a 75-year-old or 80-year-old for what he did at 14 is furthering the agenda, but it's not. It's absolutely not. It's tightening people. It's tightening cultures. It's taking, the oxygen out of the air. Like, it's creating a culture where we are isolating ourselves and we are excluding people slowly but surely, to the place where I don't know if I want to work with you, because I am scared. I am scared that you're going to look at me and see oppressor, or I am scared that, you're going to hold everything I do against me. And again, I'm not alleviating accountability from white people. That is not what's happening. White people absolutely need to be responsible for their action, responsible for your words, because you do have to know you represent something, unfortunately, right? And you do have to know that you have to just be responsible for everything you do, everything you say. Like, you have to be. But that being said, I do think that Black people could, foster, I don't even know the word, an environment that makes it easier for multiple people groups to function together. We cannot continue to be so inclusive or exclusive. Yeah, exclusive. We cannot. I don't know. Like, you just cannot, because it has never gained us success. And it doesn't seem successful today. It doesn't seem like it's working out to me. So that's just my take, man. Yeah, that's just where I'm at on that. Let me know absolutely what you guys think, what you guys feel. Another great episode, I think. Thank you so much for joining me on part 2 of Questions That Need Answers. Next episode will be the final episode of this little mini series. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy. I'll see y'all on the flippity flip. Peace.